Well,
It's
hello
fun.
again. Welcome to another edition of Sci-Fi Model Action live on the bench Hangout. We've got a great group of modelers with us again, like we do every week. And Sci-Fi Model Action Live is an extension of our Sci-Fi Model Action community forum that we have. You can find our forum at www.scifimodelaction.com. We invite you guys out there watching to stop by and check out our forum there. We've got a great group of people who hang out and talk about building science fiction related models, sharing our work and things like that. So it's a great place to come by and learn about building and share your work with others. I'm going to open up the Q&A application here for our audience. So if you guys are watching, you can send in your comments and questions while we're chatting today. I'm going to kick things off first with our introductions. At my extreme left, we have Andy, all the way from the UK. How are you today, Andy?
Hey guys, I'm great, thanks Boyd. Nice to be on again.
Glad to have you with us today, Andy. And from the stormy Midwest, we've got Baba with us today. How you doing today, Baba?
Not too bad. Trying to keep dry. Good to be here.
Glad to have you on today, Baba. And we've also got John. I think John lives pretty close to Baba there, so he might be getting some storms too. How you doing today, John?
Doing great, and so far so good as long as the sump pump holds out.
That's good. Okay, and we've also got Mike Morgan with us. How you doing today, Mike? Looks like you're busy on your bench today.
Oh, yeah, just hanging out here, working on the Batmobile, trying to do a little. I took the decals off the Batmobile.
Oh, okay. Well, looking forward to seeing what you're working on there in a little bit, Mike. And then we've got Shannon Freeman, one of our regulars here. How you doing today, Shannon?
Oh, I'm doing okay. Just got this little thing started decaling. NX01 thingy.
Oh, yeah, very nice. And also we've got Tag from sunny California. How you doing today, Tag?
I am doing very well. Thank you. Good to see you guys, and it's good to be here.
Glad to have you on again today, Tag. And you guys know me. I'm Boyd Crompton, your host for this thing, and I operate the TrekWorks YouTube channel. Let's swing things back over here to Andy and get right into the thick of what we're working on today. How you doing there, Andy, and what do you got on your bench today?
I'm doing good. I currently have on my bench the nacelles for the JJ. The rest of the kit was primed today, but I have so much filling to do. So I've decided to, after about 5 rounds of filling, sanding and priming, decided to do a little bit of building again. So I'm cutting out bits for the LED tape to do all the lighting in the back of the nacelle. And yeah, I'm just waiting for my motors to come. Got a couple of motors coming all the way from China, which hopefully are going to do the job and rotate those little photo etch Bussard collector greeblies at the front. So yeah, I'm not getting as much done as I'd like to on it. I'm currently looking at moving house, but yeah, I'm trying to catch a few hours here and there.
Very nice, Andy. What do you have to say to everybody about since the last time that we talked about you building the model, as far as your experience with how the kit's going together and little problems you've had to solve with you and the other Andy are both doing a fantastic job with all of the lighting. How's that going?
Yes. We had some issues with the inner part of the nacelle pylons. That whole section just did not fit very well at all. It seemed a bit twisted, especially as on the lighting kit that I've put together. We're doing the little triple flash of the like the formation lights on the back of the nacelle pylons, and we decided to go with fibre optics in there. So we're just running 4 fibre optics up the inside of each pylon. That sounds easy, but it was probably actually the hardest part of the kit. Yeah, it wasn't easy at all. Eventually we got it in there. We were trying to hold it in place by tape. But you guys know, fibre optics, even a really, the smaller gauge stuff, it has a mind of its own, and it was just going all over the place. So eventually we just like blue tacked it and sellotaped it, and eventually, yeah, got it in. There's a lot of filling on the back of that kit. The the saucer, then the main body wasn't too bad. Yeah, but that back part was something else, especially around the shuttle bay as well. There seems to be a lot of gaps in there. I thought it was just mine, but Andy's having the same issues, so. Yeah.
Right, yeah, I remember that on the one that I built too. So I think that's really great, though, Andy, that you and Andy are both working together and sort of collaborating on that. And I think
Yeah.
that's something that a lot of modelers could do, you know, sort of maybe if you find a kit that maybe a couple of people are interested in, that you find a modeling buddy like that and you work on the kit at the same time and you can both combine your knowledge resources and your skills to make sure you get a nice result with what you're trying to do and bounce
Yeah.
ideas off each other. That's a really great idea.
I would definitely recommend it. I mean, it's actually a lot more fun, and as you say, you know, as people get to work on the model at different times of day, some people might, Andy certainly seems to get a little bit ahead of me, and then he's like, "Oh, dude, be careful when you're putting the shuttle bay in. Yeah, there's a little edge in the little hoop that goes across the shuttle bay entrance." He said, cut that out, and you won't have any issues getting the shuttle bay back in. And he was right. So it's really cool just being able to bounce ideas, and it just makes the build a lot more fun. I think we're kind of building a huge, great stash. We've both been going a little bit mad on eBay lately, and we're kind of building the same stash together. So I think there's going to be a lot more collaborations in the future, which is great.
Yeah, that's really, really cool. And I know we've got a couple people over on Sci-Fi Model Action on the forums that are starting to do that. Recently, our guy Armando did the little buddy build where we had a bunch of guys building the new Mobius Cylon Raider. So they were all doing the same thing, bouncing ideas and figuring out how to light it and do their painting and everything. And that's really cool to see people get involved like that.
Absolutely.
Well, thanks for sharing the details, Andy. We appreciate it, and we're looking forward to more of that beautiful build. You guys are both doing an outstanding job on that model. Can't wait to see it. And up next, we've got Baba, and Baba is probably working on something. We're in his, I can see his studio.
I went to, I almost got my whole place done for my different types of work that I'm doing here.
Love the shirt.
Oh, yeah.
Old Marvel comic book, Star Wars. That's pretty cool.
That's what I got, those old Marvels. But this is, I don't know if you can see this, getting ready for doing electronics.
Mm-hmm. Nice soldering station.
Yeah, I just want to get that one thing on your table that looks like you hook up stuff to it and you test it, and you could adjust it to how many volts you want to do and stuff like that.
Oh, the power supply.
Yeah, you know, I thought I would find on my Radio Shack, but I didn't.
I got mine off of eBay, Baba, for really cheap. It was $49.95 with free shipping, and I got it in about 3 days when I ordered it.
All right, that sounds good. That sounds like a plan there. And I went to Comic-Con here in Chicago. I found this for $25.
Oh, great.
And I got that Deep Space Nine model and the Deep Space Nine thing for $10. The Defiant for $10. And that's a pretty damn good price, isn't it?
Yeah, it sure is.
And I got another Star Destroyer, and I paid $40 for that. I got the Klingon ship, and I was wondering, this Reliant model, it's the AMT one. That's a pretty bad. Is it a bad model or? Is it
No,
decent?
it's not a bad model. Are you talking about the original release, the one that came out right around, I think, 97 or so?
Yeah, I believe that's what it is. It's
Oh, that's the Defiant.
well, the Defiant. Yeah, sorry about that. Yeah.
No, that's a nice model.
Yeah.
It's a little bit of labor intensive putting it together as far as the seam work that you need to do on it, and it's you have to you're going to have to build some kind of a support system in the center of the hull because it's basically a big clamshell, and when you start working on it after you've got it put together, you want to when you're doing your sanding and things like that, you tend to want to squeeze it when you're holding onto it, and there's nothing in the center to hold it. And you'll just keep crushing it in and cracking your seams, on the nacelles, if you want to call them nacelles. But I know I talked about that when I built mine, and several of the guys that have built them since have shown. I think Chad Cervinsky, that comes on once in a while, he showed how he made some nice styrene supports, and he put them in the middle of it, and it made a big difference on it. It's easy to fix.
I never really planned on building that ship ever, but I couldn't pass up the price for it.
No, it's I really like the model. I love the ship, the design of the ship, and it's a really nice size. You can get the lighting kit for that, for the clear parts from Don's Light and Magic. They have the Bassard scoops and the grills and everything for it.
And there's a re-release of this, right?
Right.
And is it different than this one, or is it pretty much the same?
It's pretty much the same. Yep.
That's what I kind of.
As far as I know, somebody out there that has the new kit might be able to tell us, but
got one of the dome stands. That's the only difference.
That's the only difference. Yeah. Now there is a over at, I believe it's at Starship Modeler, in their download section, Baba. There's a from what is his name? Pendragon. There's a file over there that you can download the decals for that if you wanted to. Instead of painting on all those complex panels like I did, which took like a month on the top and the bottom, they make a decal. He has a decal set for that you can print out and make your own decals for it that has all those panels and everything. So it's pretty nice.
I think with I'd rather paint all that stuff on, even on the when I see the 1,000 scale Enterprise. Stop me if I'm talking too much right now, but it's like
no, that's fine.
The 1,000 scale Enterprise, I don't even want to use the decals for the Aztecing on that. I'd rather paint it on myself. Those decals seem to come out so dark anyway. That it just looks kind of strange. I just think painting is better to be doing that kind of stuff.
I was going to say, it's too bad Jerry must be having a little bit of a connection from HDA Model Works, but he's been trying to get in here. But I know a while back he was talking about working on a masking set for that model, but I don't know if he's made any progress or not on that. If he was here, we could ask him, but he's having some internet difficulties today. We've also got Eric Hawkins that just joined in. How are you doing today, Eric?
Doing pretty good. Catch you guys in my break since I had a break today.
Oh, glad to have you on with us today, Eric.
Isn't that the motto?
Huh?
Isn't that the motto? You deserve a break today?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Deserve a day off. The day off that they gave me, you put on call. And every time they put that on the schedule, someone's guaranteed to call out. It's the one that you got to wonder which shift you're going to work, 6 a.m. or the night shift.
Right.
Working
again. We're glad to have you on today, Eric. And Baba, did you have anything more you wanted to show that you're working on or talk about?
I could wait until later.
Okay.
I want to tell you, those clear parts of Don's Light and Magic are really nice.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, everything that Don puts out is good stuff. He's in fact, I'm waiting for my chiller grills to come in that I ordered for our Reliant kit that we're working on here. Okay. And we should have those pretty soon. Let's go to John next and see what John's working on today. Well, how are you doing today, John? Love that B9 robot kit there in the background.
Okay, so yeah, I got the B9 robot, and man, this is a big kit. And this is on sale for $33 at Squadron, and probably all the other sci-fi stuff over there too. If you're trying to snag a kit, it's the post IPMS National sale, and I just sort of wait like a vulture and pick stuff up.
Yeah, why not? Yeah, that's a good tip.
Yeah, so I literally have opened the box once, so I really haven't looked at it yet. But I'd love to do the electronics on this and have the have the voice and all that. And we were talking about that before the show. Ralph sounds like he's got a great setup for that. So I'm looking forward to seeing what you have with that, boy. But I have actual work that I've been doing. I went to Alaska the last 2 weeks, so I haven't done too much. But I've got my rec lounge done.
Oh
And
yeah, nice.
yeah, and I laughed when I was doing this because there's not a whole lot of references, for that area. I mean, you can pretty much do whatever the heck you want, I guess. I mean, um, and I thought of this quote I'd heard once that like CEOs of major corporations, they've got important jobs, but they will literally spend hours and days, figuring out what the upholstery of the corporate jet should be.
Right.
So that's what I'm sitting there like, oh my God, I got to decide what color the wall is. I was like, I can't decide. It's like, so anyway, I came up with something that works. But I have more questions for you guys. You can see I kind of got a board in there. That's not the latest one from Ralph, but it's like that's the one with the engine circuitry built into it and all that, which is nice. But then I asked him, I go, as soon as I bought this one, he came out with the new timing one that he's working on, and he said he would replace. Well, he would if I sent this back to him, he would do something to it and it would upgrade it to the newest version, which is nice, but I've already got it in there, so I think I'm stuck with this right now. So that's one thing. But I actually have a question. and that is, on the back here, I've got the red LEDs for the impulse engines, and those have both got a resistor on them. If I look at the diagram, I don't see a resistor between these guys and the actual board. And it worries me because I already blew out one of my dual color LEDs by not putting a resistor there. So my question is, do I need to put a resistor or two resistors on those two color LEDs when they come out of this onto this board, or is the resistor handled in the circuit there?
Well, you're talking about the Combo D board, isn't that what it's called?
Well, it's one up from that, but yes.
Well, I don't have the schematic here. It should show on the schematic, or it should say on the schematic.
I know, but
instruction.
Yeah.
If there's a resistor in place. If not, you don't need one.
All right. Well, it doesn't show one, so that worries me now because these guys have one wired in already. So are they going to work, or they already got too much resistor in them now? So,
they probably won't, or they might be a little bit dim.
Yeah. So I think that's probably what's going on. I'll have to try it. I could always rewire them.
I would have thought that he put a voltage regulator right at the start of that circuit, so that it's only putting through enough for the ICs, and then the outputs will be decent voltage for any LEDs it needs to drive.
Yeah, he has some areas, like for example on his 1000B control board for the navigation lights. Those LEDs all need to have a resistor
like these do.
put in. But some of the other areas, like I know on the photon launcher for the 350, it doesn't need resistors, and the deflector dish doesn't need a resistor. The bicolored LED that hooks straight up to the board.
Okay, that's probably what this is then. So I probably have to take these resistors off of the red LEDs for my impulse engines.
Just a suggestion.
Yeah?
Have you got a multimeter?
No, but I could get one.
I use them all the time. I mean, you can get one, like here they're 10 quid, or £10. So I'd imagine you guys over there would get them a lot cheaper. You don't need a really expensive one, but having one around, just because for what you're doing there, it's just one of the pins on the earth, one on the positive, and it'll tell you exactly how many volts are coming out.
Right.
And you'd know if you're going to be getting into a lot of electronics, it's pretty much a must.
Okay.
Definitely. Yep, I've got one of those sitting here that I use all the time too. And if you can find out what the rating is on those LEDs, and you need to be right at or below what their rating is on your output voltage coming out. But like I said, his instructions are usually clear. He'll have it on the diagram, or if you read the written part of how he's telling you to connect it, will say connect a resistor in between the bulb and the board. And if it doesn't say it on there, you don't need a resistor.
Right, because I mean, I had done the the nav lights and stuff, and they all needed resistors,
Right.
and so I was just used to it, and I'm looking at the diagram and I couldn't see one there, but then I did a mistake and I blew one of my LEDs by doing too much, so then I got scared. So,
Well, better to have that happen before everything is all sealed up.
Yeah.
That's a good thing.
Gosh. Yeah. So it's going pretty well. I'm one of the things with this board though is it's going to require all the wires for the nacelles to come up underneath the neck, to go to the board. So I'm going to have to put leads out before I seal anything up in there.
Right.
But the slightly different build, I guess. But it works. It'll work the same in the end.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where I am. So I think I'm on your 7th or 8th web episode for the 1350 build. So I mean, I know, Boyd, we've only met like 3 times, but I feel like I spent like hours with you already. So,
sorry to hear that.
I know. Well, you can't have everything. So,
well, that's good. I'm glad the videos are helping you out, John.
And one last plug. And Baba mentioned this. We've got a club contest coming up in November. If you guys want to head out here at all. It's a good time. We have an amazing vendor room, and if anybody's interested, it's November 8th, and you can go to IPMS Butch O'Hare. You can Google that. You can see it, or you can ask me. I'll tell you all the details.
Excellent. And what part of the country then? Tell everybody where you guys are at, and where that's going to be held.
It's outside Chicago in Downers Grove.
Excellent. Very cool. Yep, and that's a great. Those IPMS shows and events are a great place to go to meet people. And I attended my first one here in San Antonio, the Fiesta IPMS show, and they're on their 34th annual this year. This year it's going to be held February 12th, I believe. And I can't wait to go. It was only a one-day show, but we had a great turnout here. It was a huge show, and great place to get good deals on model kits and to see some beautiful models that have been built in the contest, and just talk to people that are into the hobby that are really enjoying it. So it was a great time. And let's talk to Mike real quick and see what Mike's got going there. He's busy on his bench. What you got doing there, Mike?
I'm working on the Batmobile. It's 148, the polar light snap, and had a little boo-boo with the decals, and finally got them off.
Did you have to sand those back off, Mike, or did you use some kind of a stripper on them?
I used a little bit of the microsaw, and I also soaked in window cleaner with ammonia, and soaked a while, scrubbed a while, soaked a while, scrubbed a while. It took like all day to get. Of course, I had like 4 coats of acrylic gloss and like 4 coats of like pledge on here, and I put the decals on top of it. I didn't seal them on, but boy, they were tough to get off. I didn't think they were going to come off, and I'm surprised they didn't scar the plastic up. I feel bad trying to get them off. I'm real surprised. But I got what is that by TJ Graphics, which is really nice, and primered the Bat figures, or Batman and Robin, the figures. I'm getting ready to paint them.
Nice.
And in the TJ Graphics, they believe it or not, they have they have the bat emblem for Batman. I built this kit before, and I can't see that little emblem, so I'm glad they have it in there so I can kind of pop it on there. And I don't know if they have the R for Robin in there or not. That's awful tiny to look at. And last night I worked on, took and drilled out the siren.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I drilled out
That's
the
good.
holes and all the little notches on the side. And my eyes went crossed for a while, but that's all right.
Well, that happens.
And I hope they're all straight. I've been looking at it with my lens, and it looks good for my backyard, I guess. And other than that, I've been sitting here. I've taken all my tiny little parts. I put pins on them. I don't know how many people do that, but I put pins on all my tiny little parts. That's how I clean them or hold on to them.
Oh, that's
I
a good
did something
idea.
kind of crazy. And I don't. It was a good idea, and it wasn't a good idea at the same time. But I stripped all the chrome off of this model because I don't think a lot of this chrome just wasn't correct on the model. Not really. Just like these rims are Krager 5 stars, and the insides are black, and just the stars are chrome. And like the jet nozzle on this, just the outside ring is black, and the little nubbies are chrome, and that's like I said, there was a lot of it. It didn't make sense. Like this seat, they chromed the seat, and there's nothing on this. That's chrome. There's nothing chrome on it. There is. I think it's part of that console. According to all the pictures I've seen on the internet of the real Batmobile,
Right.
that's not correct. The fire extinguisher, the handles, none of those are chrome. None of these parts, and that's like, well, might as well just strip the whole screw while I'm at it. So,
Right.
and I also discovered these tires for the Batmobiles. They're two-piece, so I, put the squadron, filler, and I got to repaint them again. So primer and paint them, which was not too bad, I don't think. So. And that's what I've been up to. Hopefully, I'm going to keep plugging at it, and not too many more days I'll be putting paint on it again.
Very nice, Mike.
But I'm not putting paint on the body. I'm just going to put what I saw was it Classic Plastics always give me the idea of using the model color, since it's molded in color, just polish it. Put the clear and polish it, and then put the decals on it. Saves you a whole lot of headache from painting.
Right. Yeah. Yep. You can definitely make that look really nice. He's shown that technique on his channel a couple times, and he makes it turn out really, really nice.
What was that? The Rommel ride he did that on.
Yep. Yeah, I like that build.
I love that car. I want that one myself, and that's a hard kit to find.
It is. That's one of the first models I built when I was a kid.
It has the little skeleton figures in it. That's cool.
Really cool. All right, well, thanks for sharing that with us, Mike. Great job, and looking forward to seeing the finale on that one. I know with those new decals and everything, that's going to look really nice.
Yeah,
thanks. Before we talk to Shannon, let's introduce Jerry. Jerry finally made it in here. I think he might have switched to his phone or something. How you doing today, Jerry?
Well, I don't know if you can hear me. I had to switch to my tablet. My computer's got problems with Google today for some reason, and right now I'm running a whole bunch of updates trying to get that fixed. So I'm doing fine. I just wanted to drop in and see what everyone was doing. I haven't been able to get on the Saturday Hangout, so it's just nice to see all you guys.
Oh, we can hear you just fine, Jerry. Glad to have you on with us today. Tell us a little bit about some news, maybe, that what you've been working on at HDA Model Works. I know you're busy all the time. You got anything new to share with us?
Well, I'm working on a new base design that was originally an inspiration issue off the NX01 that I'm working on, and I'm working on some specialized paint masks today as well. Those are the two projects I got going on today. The only other thing I have, Boyd, seeing how you know, I've spoke to you about this. I don't know if anyone else can guess what that is.
Oh man, I know what it is. Let's see if they can figure it out.
Head of a Romulan warbird.
That's right.
That's enormous.
From Time Flip Creations. Molded off one of the warbirds that came from the original mold at Paramount. That was, from what I understand, I guess was slated to be blown up for an effect shot, and it never was. And George at Time Flip was able to get it and has made molds off of it, and is now casting exact duplicates of the studio model, total 1-to-1 scale.
That's awesome.
He's gone in and cleaned up and fixed, and I just got it in a little while back, and it's an excellent model. I have to give kudos to George because the quality of the casting is outstanding. The detail is fabulous on it. So, but anyway, I'm really happy. It's going to be a sizable model when it's built, and it's really cool, and the detail is excellent. It's got some challenges to it in relation to lighting, a little bit more so than what you would have on a styrene kit, but I think it's going to be a nice piece when it's done. And what I like about this is that it's actually cast off of one of the ones from Paramount, so it's not someone's reproduction. It's actually from the original. So that's what I really like about this warbird.
That's beautiful. That's going to be huge. Yeah.
So
that's the proper size that ship should be. That little bitty AMT kit is just so small. I mean, that ship is supposed to be massive compared to the Enterprise D. So,
well,
yeah.
Actually, if you put the AMT Enterprise D up against this one, it would probably be very close. To the proper
pretty close to the right scale. Yeah, that's really cool. Well, thanks for showing that, Jerry. Can't wait to see. Are you going to do an out of the box, maybe a review on your YouTube channel about that model?
If I get some time ahead, I will definitely.
A lot of people would like to see that. Yeah, that's really cool. Thanks for sharing that, Jerry.
Mm-hmm.
Let's talk to Shannon real quick and see what Shannon's working on today.
Well, let's see. I got this little thing done on the top of the saucer.
Oh, nice. Got all your decals done on it? That's beautiful.
Yeah, I got all my Aztec done on that so far. Now I just
That's the 1/1000 scale kit?
Yeah, 1/1000 scale kit.
That's a nice size, yeah.
Boy, these things are a pain to put on. But that's okay. Yeah. It wouldn't be a fun hobby if it wouldn't have been a pain.
Right. It probably took longer to put the decals on than it did to build and paint the model, didn't it?
Yep.
Yeah.
Usually.
Very nice, Shannon. And let's ask Tag. Tag looks like he's busy working on something there. Last week we saw he was doing a kit bash of a P-38 that he was making into a space fighter. How's that one coming, Tag?
She's still coming. Whoop, there she goes.
And she fell apart.
Yeah. Well, I only have the one side taped because I'm working on the other side, but starting to look a lot like a Naboo.
Yeah, it is. It's really cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and trying to figure out the engines right now. I think I'm going to use the engines from the Anakin's pod racer. So I want to have a little. Yeah, it's really good. I mean, the model kit's really terrible because for some reason the engines they have in 4 sections that you have to glue together, which is just stupid. And then I don't know why they did that, but they did do that. But the other thing I'm also working on is I've got a couple of these, a couple of O-scale passenger cars. This is going to become a really big battleship.
Wow. Yeah, that will be big.
Yeah, it will be big. I'm working on the side panels, which are SU 122s.
Oh,
reshaping.
Cool.
Yeah, I'm reshaping these. This is where my guns are going to be because it is going to be a battleship and it's going to be gun heavy. And that one will probably carry me through the winter.
There goes the ball.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we don't get snow and stuff here, but we get a lot of rain in the wintertime. So when it's rainy, it's best not to go out and drive because nobody out here knows how to drive in the rain. That's what I've got going on right now.
Excellent, Tag. Thank you for the update. Looking forward to more of that. I'll show you guys really quick something I wanted to show you guys that not really, it really hasn't been my project. I've been helping and guiding a little bit, but my new shop helper here, Jeremy, has been working on this little model here, and I can show it to you guys. This is a beautiful 65 GTO convertible.
Yep.
And he's been doing a great job on this. I'll tilt it here for you a little bit. And if I can turn it the right way.
Yeah, it looks pretty cool.
He's painted the dash and done all the really nice fine detail work. And the other night I showed him how to do the, we've got real carpet in this thing.
Yeah.
We did a little technique where we took some canopy glue and brushed it in there, and then I have this little, it's like a little puffer bottle. It looks like one of those old antique perfume bottles if you want to picture it, and you put this little crushed up velour flocking in there, and you can basically puff it on there, and it goes on really, really light, so it looks in scale. It doesn't, look too big for the size of the model. And you can see he painted all the. I showed him how to do a wash technique here, where he got the detail to come out on the rims and everything like that. And of course, we did I mixed up some of this automotive clear, and you can see the beautiful gloss finish we've got on this thing. And then I'll show you a little bit of the engine detail here. And we've got the all the wires and everything on the engine, and it's really turning out really nice. And he's really excited about it. He said it's the best model he's ever built, so he's learning quick hanging around here in the shop, and he's really helping me out a lot here, so he's doing really well, and I thought you guys might like to see that. Going over, I'm going to switch my camera here real quick. Let's see. I'm about, let me see if this will switch okay here for you. If you guys can.
Wow.
I'm about 2 hours away from completely finishing the Enterprise that I've been working on. I've got the base all put together that came in from Jerry, and let me tell you guys, it is just drop dead gorgeous. It's absolutely beautiful. I'm going to be showing that. I'm going to shoot the final video for that over the weekend, and probably Monday have the final video, but it's just absolutely fantastic.
Boy, is this the same model?
It's the same model.
I'm just messing with you. I'm almost there.
It's been a long journey, but I'm really happy. The only thing left to do is I've got to solder like 4 wires and then mount the deflector dish. I'm just connecting up the lighting on the deflector dish at the front and the lights for the thrusters there around that little front part. But it turned out really nice, and I'm really, really pleased with the base, Jerry. It's just absolutely gorgeous, and my client is just going to flip when he sees it. So
yeah, I'm really curious to see that base.
And
Jerry, I'll probably buy one from you too.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
The whole package is going to be a beautiful display. I know when he has people come over to his house, they're going to be like, "Where in the heck did you get that thing?" But yeah, it's really, I'm really happy, and I'm just glad to be getting to the end here. It's been a long journey, and I just want to thank all the different people, Jerry, Dave, Ralph, everybody that got involved, helping me put everything together as far as what we want to do with this model, and Orbital Dry Dock with the masks, and I mean the paints, everything just worked out really, really good, and I can finally see the light at the end of the tunnel. I mean, I was going through this last week, and I thought, hey, I'm only a couple hours away, and then you start seeing, oh, well, I got to paint this detail, I got to do this, and you go, wow, I'm in like 10 hours away, It just seemed like, if you've ever seen one of those movies where you think you're getting close, and all of a sudden it just gets really far away again.
Yeah.
That's kind of what it was like, but we're making really good progress from what we learned on this one with the next one we're building already too. So, but again, thanks, Jerry. I really appreciate it, and tell Dave the same thing. Actually,
thank you, Boyd.
in the next, not this week, but next week, guys, on our Model Shop guys show, we're going to be showing a nice little video that I put together with the help of Jerry and Dave of some behind the scenes footage that shows how these guys do this work. The laser etching that Jerry's doing to create these beautiful masterpieces that he's turning out, and how Dave does his woodworking on building these beautiful bases, and you guys can look forward to that. So it's a really interesting look at how they do this work. So we'll be showing that one on the next episode. We didn't have it quite ready for this week, but we'll be showing it definitely next week.
Oh, good.
And so that'll be pretty cool. And that's all. I'm just the other stuff I've got going on here. I've pretty much already showed you guys. So I guess now we'll kick it around for open discussion and see if anybody has anything like that.
Yeah, something that big, Boyd. Would you say it's better to have like other projects to work on as you're working on that one?
Oh, definitely, yeah. I mean, I used to, the last couple of years, I was kind of in this thing where I only wanted to work on one thing at a time, so I could, completely stay concentrated on it or whatever. But it was kind of mainly due to space limitations too, But I've opened up the shop here a little bit. I've created some more space, and in the next couple of weeks, I'm actually working on doing a little bit more of that, adding some more bench area in here and getting spread out a little bit more, because I'd like to get to where I can have a dedicated area for each process, the painting in one area, assembly in one area, and sort of projects that are, waiting for parts or something like that, sitting in a certain area where they're not going to be bothered. But yeah, I mean, now I found that I can, kind of balance that out a little bit better, and it is nice to switch off from one thing to the other and kind of take a little break from it, and do something else. Especially now that, a lot of people have asked me that, Boyd, is it going to ruin the hobby for you now that you're doing building models for people? And I think one good way to avoid, having it turn into that where I'm not building, a refit or whatever and get bored with it, is that you do have these other projects that are coming along that you can switch up and go back and forth on. And one of the kits that's coming in from a client here in the next week, I'm really excited about it. It's that new Battlestar Galactica kit from Badass Models, the big I think it's 2500 scale. It's beautiful.
Like 38 inches long or something like that?
Yeah, and it's from what I've seen, looking at some of the videos that people have and pictures, I mean the detail on it and the quality of the kit's supposed to be really, really good. So I'm really looking forward to that. And Jerry, I'll be talking to you about a base for that one.
Well, we just Dave and I just shipped a base a few days ago to a client that has that 38-inch model.
Right. Now, is that the Salzo kit, or is this the Badass from?
I don't remember. Honestly, I don't remember which one it is.
Okay. This one's the newer version, the BSG 75. I think JT Graphics is the one who carries it. Yeah, so we've got some requests I got to talk to you about as far as he wants some detail inside the landing bays and the base and some other things like that. Going to do a little bit of battle damage on it.
Can't wait to see that model kit.
Yeah, it's he told me that Jeff over there told him that it was shipping out this week, so we should be getting it in the shop here pretty soon.
The biggest thing I'm curious about with that kit is, the smaller, the Mobius kit, you can't see where the fighter planes come out the side, the launch bays, and the bigger size kit, you got to have them in there, I imagine. So I'm looking forward to seeing when you finally get it.
Well, there's some inaccuracies that they've corrected on this bigger kit too. A lot of you guys know the Mobius kit. There's an issue with the whatever they call it, the front end, the battle head or whatever they call it, where it's got that step and
Yeah.
it's not supposed to have that, and that's been corrected, and some other things have been corrected on the big model. But it's not a cheap kit. It's about a $500 model kit. So if you're thinking about getting one, you might have to save your pennies a little bit. But
It's cheaper than the DeBoers.
yeah, that's for sure.
That thing, when I heard the price on that, I was like, no.
What scale is it exactly?
2500 scale. So it's literally more than twice as big as the Mobius kit.
God, that guy, man.
Nice.
Anyway,
Yeah.
going off. That's that.
So
Yeah, I looked at the
that'll be
pictures.
something nice to change it up here a little bit. And then I'm finishing up the. I've been working on this little Dune, a Trades Trader frigate. We've finally finished up cutting out all the windows on that, and have got it all in primer now. And in the next 2 weeks or so, I'll have that one finished up, and we've got to come up with a base on that too, Jerry. The client actually was supposed to email me a file. He said he found a file of the markings that we were talking about on that sort of landing strip thing that it sits on. So as soon as I get that, I'll forward that to you, and
Okay.
we can either do decals or maybe better, maybe a set of paint masks, whatever would be easier for you to do.
Okay. Well, I also need to probably go back and watch the movie and find the scenes where that's in there, so I can get a good understanding of the context.
Yeah.
It's been a long time since I've seen the film.
The markings that he wants on the ground are almost like Egyptian hieroglyphic kind of looking things.
Okay.
They're just all in white, and it's supposed to be sort of an asphalt or cement looking surface or whatever. And I've set that up to where he's going to be able to set the model down on the base, and it'll make contact and turn his lights on. And then if he picks it up, the lights won't stay on. I didn't want to set it up. He didn't want to go through doing a rechargeable battery or anything like that. So, but it'll be pretty cool.
Very good. Well, send it to me when you get it. I'll look forward to working on that for you.
Okay. Appreciate it as always. And I don't see any questions that are coming in from the audience. A few comments. Somebody put a link up here. Let me see if I can say who that was. Okay. Well, there's a question here. Boyd, do you use acrylic urethanes throughout your model projects? Yes, I do, Michael. That's from Michael Kovac. That's pretty much all the paints that I use. I'm really happy with them. They work out really well. You get a really nice smooth finish with them, and the ability to mix my own colors is something that I really like. The person that put the link up here, let me see, it's for squadron.com. He mentions here that they currently have, well, that's a great deal. I might have to order a couple of those. They've got the 350 Classics Enterprise on sale for $80 and the 350 Refit for $59.
Oh.
That's a heck of a deal.
It's
Wow.
That's about what I paid for mine.
Mm-hmm. Another nice little online hobby shop I want to mention out there that I've dealt with pretty frequently is Mark Twain Hobbies, if you guys have heard of them. I frequently find that their prices are 20%, 25% lower than everybody else. I've been looking around for one of these 172 scale German U-boat kits, and I found the kit over there at Mark Twain, and they were $40 cheaper than everybody else.
Which
And
one?
it's the Revell. What is it? Type 7 German U-boat in 172 scale.
I was going to say, if you want the Type 9, come visit me.
Yeah, they have the Type 9 on the shelf over here at my Hobby Town for, I think, $79.95. I might get that kit too.
I'm just saying we've got one. We've one of the U505 at the Museum of Science and Industry in Chicago.
Oh yeah, I've been through that ship. I used to live just north of Chicago, there in Janesville, Wisconsin, the southern part of Wisconsin. Yep. So I've been down there.
Like you had a Texas accent.
Well, I haven't been down to see the USS Texas yet, and I've been wanting to do that. As some of you military buffs might know, that's the only surviving battleship in the war that's actually survived, that's been through both World War I and World War II.
And it's the only iron construction ship currently afloat, I think.
They've I just got done watching a documentary about how they did the restoration on it and completed it. Jerry, maybe you know, back in 2007 maybe is when they finished.
Well, yeah, they did a restoration on her, but now she's got some major hull problems that Texas Parks and Wildlife are working on the ship. She suffered some major leaks on the underside of the hull, and they're going through a laborious process to try to fix her. They're also looking at dry docking her permanently and constructing adjacent to the parking pool she's sitting in now off the Houston Ship Channel. They're looking at building a dry dock there to throw her into, and so that she'll be out of the water permanently.
That's probably a good idea.
And
Yeah.
of course, they're also working on getting all the money put in place. I've seen 3 or 4 different plan designs on concepts on the dry dock, and she sits at the I forget what you call it, the battlefield where Texas defeated Mexico and won its independence, and there's concerns there in relation to putting the ship in a dock that doesn't take away from the battlefield too. So they've had multiple designs that they've worked on, but the intent is to dry dock her permanently.
Is that San Jacinto?
Yes, that's it. I couldn't remember. San Jacinto State Park, the battlefield park there that has the super tall monument there, the largest in the world in terms of an obelisk, I believe.
Yeah. Well, I know that when they did the restoration a few years back, they actually did dry dock it and they replaced a lot of the hull. But yeah, you're talking about something that's.
They towed her out of her berth pool there, and did that. But this they didn't have. Basically, at the time they only had enough money to address all the issues above the water line.
Right.
They didn't have the money at that time to do the hull restoration, and she's developed quite a few leaks in the bilges and stuff. And they've got to deal with it. If not, she's going to sink. And it's pretty.
Yeah.
They've done temporary work to patch her up to prevent it, because there was a time, I guess, about a year and a half ago, that they were very concerned that she would sink.
Or if a bad storm came up in the Gulf there or something, it could be really a problem.
Exactly.
But,
so they did a lot of temporary work, but the whole point is to get a dry dock berth for her permanently, so they can complete all the whole restoration work on her. It's my understanding from what I've read, she's leaking in the bilges under the main engineering room, and there's just not a lot of room to work there. So. And on that note, just, because I am a Battleship Texas buff, I've been to the ship several times, and there hasn't been a styrene kit of that model available in a long time, but I just found out yesterday that Trumpeter is going to be releasing a new 1/350 scale of the Texas.
Oh, wow. Nice.
I don't know if it's going to have parts for the original version of her before refitting or whatever, or if it's going to be World War II version or whatnot, but they didn't release a price or a time frame when they're going to release it, but I read information that they are going to be doing a Texas, and so I'm assuming they're also going to be doing her sister ship, the New York, which was the first in the class, and the Texas was the second, so I'm looking forward to that, because I've been looking to get
I know you have.
One of the kits that haven't been made for several, 2 decades or more. So.
Right. Yeah, I know we've talked about that before. That'll be really cool. Yeah, that's great that they're doing that, because we definitely have to preserve. That's the only one left. It's I think the only one they call a true dreadnought class that's left.
She was built launched in 1898.
Yeah, 100 years in the salt water. So yeah, you can imagine the work that needs to be done to that, but let's hope they get it taken care of.
I just posted a link to a book, guys. It's called Thunder: Building a Model Dreadnought by William Mowell, and I have the book. It's really good. I mean, if you were really inclined to build a USS Texas model, this could get you, scratch building one. This could get you down the right path.
That's cool.
Check it out.
I don't have the patience for that type of scratch building. It's one thing to scratch build a science fiction subject. It's another thing to scratch build something that really existed and get it accurate. So,
I've got a question that came in here for the group. It says, building the 1/1400 scale Enterprise NCC 1701C, and the gap in between the upper and lower saucer where the navigation lights are on the model are way too narrow for an LED. I'm wondering if anyone has done fiber optics to handle that and how to go about it.
Well, I've got clients that have replaced using fiber optics with SMDs on the C because the hull comes down to very narrow. There's a very narrow space there, so that could be a possibility for some modelers if they wanted to choose to use those.
We had to do the exact same thing on the Reliant. Is pretty narrow too. And regular LEDs wouldn't fit in there, but yeah, you've got the option of the SMDs, but you've also got these little guys here, which we used on the Reliant, which are, Jerry, I never remember what any of these are, but maybe you can tell them when I hold it up. It's this little...
Oh, the axial.
That's a 1.5 LED. It's also referred to as a butterfly.
Okay, and it's got the little dome there on the top, which fits really nicely in scale with the size that the navigation light should be on a model of about that size. So that could be an option there, and I can guarantee that these will clear. I remember building the Enterprise C, and these will definitely clear in the top and the bottom of that model. And you can get these in all different colors.
You might be able. There might be enough room there to fit a 1.8, but the 1.5 would definitely be much easier to do without question.
Yep. So you have that option out there, and of course the SMDs, if you want to use those, they would work too, and you can get those from Jerry, and they come with a resistor pre-wired onto them already, which will be nice for working with something that small.
One model does. The smallest ones I have come with resistors, but you have to solder them onto the lead wires.
We've got a question from David Hale, who says, how would you be able to fix LED strips that are in the model without completely destroying the model to fix it? Well, if you have LED strips that go bad inside your model, David, you're not going to have much choice but to take the model apart. Now, there's a technique that a lot of people use. You can put your model in the freezer, actually, and let it sit there overnight, and you can sometimes have some pretty good luck cracking open your glue joints after having done that and not destroy any of the plastic parts.
Especially if it has been CA'd together.
Right. But it's kind of hit and miss. I mean, you'll just have to do the best you can. Jay Godby says he's shopping at Jerry's site again. That's good.
Well, thank you.
And we've got, does anyone have any advice for setting up a work area? My man cave needs a little bit of work. That's from Patrick Odell.
That's what I've been doing for 2 weeks now.
First, get divorced.
Yeah, get divorced.
Yeah.
No, it'll come soon after.
Well, I think, go ahead, Mike.
I guess it would depend on the size of area you want to set up. I mean, I'm working on a 48 by 24 just steel bench.
Right.
Yeah,
that'll probably keep your wife happier too, keeping it small. Especially if it's in the middle of the living room.
I guess
Well, it does depend on how much space you have.
Yeah,
right.
What you want to do as well.
And I'd say just start with do like Boyd, start with a TV dinner tray, and
You know,
Yeah,
I mean,
as you buy more
way up.
stuff, you get more space.
one of the things I find extremely useful is, no matter how big it is, the ability to just leave it and nobody's going to touch it.
Yeah.
Like if I put a tool somewhere, I know where it was. If I let a part dry, it's going to be there. I mean, it's really hard. It adds probably 15, 20 minutes if you really don't have a designated area and you have to come in and set up and then work and then take it all back down again. That makes it really tough.
Well, yeah, and some of us have the luxury of having space. Like I'm using my garage. Some guys have basements, and other things like that. But if you're in a little bit of a limited area, I would say just try to think out, think out your whole thing, and maybe get you one of those pegboard things or something, where you can maximize all the space around you, where you can maybe hang some, excuse me, hang some of the stuff up if you need to, and just kind of make everything really as efficient as, use your space as efficiently as you can. And if you have to paint outside, that's just what you'll have to do for the time being. Not everybody can paint, indoors and has a garage or things like that. So you just have to do the best you
makes
can.
an indoor paint booth.
Get
Right?
you one of these.
They do make those too.
These are great because you can put all your tools in it, and it's all in one little area. I'll go get something else out of the garage.
The toughest thing for me is lighting. It's real important to have good lighting for me.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yep.
You're dealing with lots of small parts and small painting details.
And my eyes aren't as good as they used to be, so I need more lighting as I get older. So.
Don't talk about that. We're all getting older.
You could spend a little bit of money and get a light that does an okay job, and you could spend $100 on a light for a table that does a really good job.
I find these desk lamps with the big lenses in them to be really nice, helpful.
Yep.
Those are pretty good ones.
Oh, what
Oh,
have we
this
got
thing's
there?
bigger than I thought it was. This is
That's kind of right. Yeah.
but it's an acrylic nail polish holder.
Oh,
But it's really good because I use Valeos, but all your paints can go in here.
oh, that's cool.
Yeah, and then like just for height, it works good for the height.
Mm-hmm.
I'm in I've been getting stuff to redo my garage, which is going to start next month. Redo my area because I outgrew it. I mean, this is just something you're probably going to run across. That's why I was like to start out small with a small table or something, and then as you go and as you buy, you'll figure out ways to expand.
Yep.
And like Boyd was talking, if you get lucky enough to have a lot of space, then you can have your paint section and your build section and your standby section, to stage it all out so that you can go through the process.
Yep. And we've all talked about that before. That I recommend when people get into the hobby. Some people have been in the hobby before and they're returning, so they're kind of familiar. But if you're just starting out for the first time, buy your first model kit. Just buy the supplies that you need to build that particular kit only, and then go through the process and see if you enjoy it. If you do, then you can go on to your next model kit and figure out what you want, what you need to add, and things like that. But don't go out and buy $1,000 worth of tools that you see all these professional guys using and stuff like that, because you can make a big investment in something that you might find out you don't have. It's just not working out for you or whatever. So then you're going to be kind of stuck with it. So, like Tag was saying, just get a little bit at a time, and when you do buy tools, buy good tools. Don't scrimp on the tools, because the tools, if you buy good ones, they'll last you for your lifetime. And good tools are always a good investment.
I love
That's if you enjoy it.
Yep.
By the way, I bought a multimeter while we were sitting here, so you guys did that.
Nice
There you go.
Amazon or eBay?
Amazon.
Yeah, Amazon. Amazon good.
And of course, all those resistors that you're going to have lying around that you have no idea what value they are, now you will.
Well, yeah,
Right.
experience is directly proportional to equipment ruined. So,
Yeah.
Has anybody ever bought like overkill, like bought something and bought a tool and discovered, hey, this is way too big for what I'm doing?
Oh yeah.
I've bought tools, that I've got sitting here, Mike, that I've only used one time for some project I was doing. Yeah, that happens.
I keep wanting to buy like spatulas and stuff to do putty thing, but every time I do putty, I never use I use my fingers. So it's like,
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah,
But
and then
that one time when you do need it, you will have it.
I'll tell you one thing. Having a daughter has been an advantage to me because you go into the makeup section of drugstores and stuff. There are a lot of model useful stuff in there.
Oh, sure.
And they don't cost, like you buy a pair of scissors from, a hobby store, you're going to pay like, 3 times as much as a makeup pair of scissors costs, and it's the same thing.
That's actually a really, really good tip, is you don't have to buy everything from Micromark or stuff like that, because they're going to charge you more.
Dollar shops, pound shops.
Yeah, and chances are it's probably a cheaper made product.
I got a question I want to ask.
Dollar General is one of my favorite places to go. You can find all kinds of trinkets in there for.
I'd buy that for $1.
Yeah, that work for modeling. I mean, little tools, but some of the stuff. I never buy any tools that I know are going to be heavily used, or like I won't buy wrenches or screwdrivers or anything like that from places like Harbor Freight, because it just for stuff that's light duty or whatever, you might be able to get away with it. But if you're going to be doing anything serious, I remember I bought a solder iron once from Harbor Freight, and the day I took it home, the first time I plugged it in, it just sat there, and all of a sudden I saw like a weird, strange glowing coming out from the center of it, and it put out like a little atomic mushroom cloud, and that was it. I never even got to solder one wire with it.
Oh, you got to see the atomic mushroom cloud.
Battery operated, first soldering iron.
Yeah.
And that didn't work because there wasn't enough power.
I got a question I want to ask.
Sure.
How many people has went to
Mike.
garage sales this? How many people went to garage sales this summer and hit the jackpot on some poor guy's stash that didn't get to it?
I know Ralph did. When we went to the Jersey Fest show, he had an entire stack of Star Trek kits. They were some pretty good ones too. He had the Cutaway Enterprise, he had the Defiant, he had the Deep Space Nine, the original kit, the Nemesis version of the Enterprise, which is that with the I think it was Enterprise E, and a few others. And I think he said, I don't know whether his aunt or somebody went to a yard sale and bought the whole stack for something like $5 or $10.
That's what I thought too.
Yeah,
I was actually thinking about that yesterday. It's like I should go, because I was looking on eBay looking for some model kits, and I'm like, man, I should go, because every once in a while you come across one on eBay, and it'll have like the sticker where they bought it at the yard sale. It says $250, and they got it up there for like $15. And you're like, wait a second, something's wrong here, and it's not. It's got to be me.
I've been thinking about that too. Do you guys have in your part of the country? Do they do a lot of those flea markets?
Yeah, they do here.
I mean, they've got some huge ones that they have here that they have every weekend. In fact, they got a whole just on the south side of town here. They got a whole I don't know, it's about 40 or 50 acres. They have a huge flea market there every single weekend, and I guarantee you there'd be some good deals to be had over there too if you just happen to catch them at the right time. But my wife tells me that she sees model kits all the time at rummage sales.
Oh,
buy them.
I'm always like, well, get your cell phone out and send me a picture, And she's like, oh, I just didn't have time. I'm thinking, oh, it's probably some really rare kit too,
Right.
It was 50 cents,
like
for
like a PT boat that you want that's like $3.
Right.
Yeah, you're never gonna see again.
She's like, well, I don't know what you're looking for, or what, like anything. I mean,
why his cell phone has a camera.
Yeah, exactly. Take a picture and send it to me.
Hey, boy, I don't want to appear insensitive, but if you die, can I have your garage?
You're on a waiting list, John. I've had that request.
Made your will out yet?
Guys have to split it up.
By the way, Boyd, where am I on that pecking list? I asked you that question many months ago, like 2 years ago or something.
Oh man,
It's nice to know you love
tight
boys.
spot here.
You know, at a certain point, you may be worth more dead than alive. I'm just saying.
Yeah,
Oh.
that's probably true.
Now, to be fair, I think it should be an auction.
These people they're after your stash.
Well, come on,
Yeah.
Boyd. I can tell by looking at the stash behind you. It needs organization. Just give me the keys. I'll drive up to San Antonio and organize that for you.
It does. Yeah, it really does. Well, the
I'll get
sad
rid of
thing
some of
is,
the clutter.
I know you guys are just hiding it, but you've got probably twice as much as I do. You're just trying to make me look bad.
Oh my God, I have the worst stash. I mean, I don't have a lot of things, but I have really big things. I mean, I have two 1/200 scale ships. I've got a couple
Oh,
of
man.
1/32
Huge.
scale yeah, I know. They're my. Well, hold on a sec. I'll show you. Hold on a second.
Well, see, I've gotten spoiled. I don't know if it's the same with you guys, but I just don't even have any interest in building any small models anymore. Everything I build, I want it to be huge. You know, like they had. Oh, there my compressor came on it. Hope you guys aren't getting blown out. But I wanted to build this little German U-boat, and I was looking around at some of the kits, and I thought, well, you know, a 350 scale would be pretty nice. So I went and looked at the U-boat kit that they had at the hobby shop in 350 scale, and it was like that big.
Yeah.
And I was like, what? No, I want the 4 foot long one, you know. And so yeah, now I'm all spoiled. I want every model to be huge, and
There's a
you know,
hole.
the problem is, where do you put them when you're done?
Yeah, that's a big problem.
Whoa. Now that's big.
This is a Bismarck.
Holy cow!
Yeah, what'd you say your address was again?
Yeah, this thing. This is what the my Enterprise distracted me from. So I got to get back on this as soon as I can.
Which
but,
ship is that, John?
Bismarck.
Oh my gosh! Everybody knows that's my favorite battleship too.
That is
I
huge.
should have been able to tell by the nose that it was the Bismarck.
Yeah, I mean it's got an interesting shape to it too. I mean it's a much wider beam than some of the you know, like I've got a Missouri too, and
Rumor had it that the Bismarck could hit close to 30 knots. That's fast.
I don't know. I mean, one of the things is it's got a, you know, the beam is the width across the hull there. It's
Yeah.
got it has a very wide beam because you know, the U.S. ships had to all fit through the Panama Canal, so they kind of had a restriction on how wide you could make them.
Mm-hmm.
But the Germans didn't have that problem, so they just made this thing really wide, which made it a very good firing platform.
Gun platform, yeah, I was going to say. Yeah, I've read a lot of history about that. I'm fascinated by the Bismarck and the Tirpitz, and I think they were in the end, they might not have been the biggest ships that were ever built, but I think the lines on them were some of the most beautiful. The profile of the Bismarck is beautiful.
Yeah, I want to do that Baltic, you know, camouflage scheme, which is, you know, the black and the white stripes.
Yeah.
And, yeah.
Everybody thinks she was painted that way when she battled the Hood, but she was not. She was all gray. They moved away from that.
Actually, I mean, when she started, I mean, they actually painted it out on the way. So there's there's kind of a documented stage. Like, I mean, you could literally, you know, pick, you know, like 1 week and have like 4 different paint schemes based on.
Yeah, you could. There's a gentleman over on the. I don't know if you guys check that at all, but you know, we have a companion website on the Google community for sci-fi model action called Scale Model Action, and over there, you see a lot of people over there posting their stuff, you know, that's not sci-fi related. And there's a gentleman over there named, it goes by Revo Dave. If you guys haven't seen it, you need to stop by and look at his completely wooden scratch-built models of the Bismarck and the Hood that he did.
Oh, wow.
They are absolutely. I think he's from the UK. They're absolutely phenomenal. I would kill to have those models. I mean, they're I mean, down to the last minute detail, where even the little airplanes on the Bismarck have got the rigging on them and everything. I mean, the lifeboats have real canvas covers on them. It's fantastic, and I love seeing ships built out to that kind of detail.
Well, you can go to town on one like this. This is, yeah, I like to joke that I have like at least 5 lifetime projects right now. So, so this is one of them.
John, how much is that kit?
Honestly, I would go look on Squadron right now and see if you could get it 50 to 75% off if you're interested. And that's the. I mean, I can't. I did something. I snagged this, on one of those 50% off deals, way back when. So.
And that's the 1/200 scale, John. Who makes the kit?
Trumpeter makes this.
Trumpeter. Okay.
And this isn't actually the big cost. I mean, I've got it's you're going to go about double. Another couple $100 if you go in for all the photo etch that's available. For
yeah, I found that out on that Revell U-boat that I bought. The photo etch costs twice as much as the model.
Yeah, it's but on the other hand, it looks drop dead gorgeous when you do it. So.
Oh sure, yeah.
So it's.
I can imagine a model like that, John. How long do you think it would take you to build that?
Oh my gosh.
A couple of years.
Yeah, I would think so.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's something you can just sit down and just do a little at a time and really enjoy the process. And
well, you have to make it into like a kit like this. You have to make it into a lot of little sub kits. I mean, like I make this week I'm gonna work on turret Anton.
Right.
I mean,
do they make a teakwood? Do they make a teakwood decking kit for that model, John?
Hold on a second. If you're interested, hold on.
I don't know about everybody else, but I am.
Yeah.
I love World War II military anything.
Did you see that documentary?
Because of that.
There's a fantastic, changing the subject a little bit, but there's a fantastic YouTube channel out there called is it called Digging Up World War II Relics? Something like that. These guys go out in the battlefields, over in Europe with metal detectors, and the stuff that they pull up out of the ground, it's amazing that it's only like a lot of times barely underneath of the grass, and it's sitting right there, where it's been, weapons, pieces that, it's incredible. You never know what they're going to find, and a lot of it's in really good condition. I would be worried about live ordnance walking around out there, though.
Yeah, no doubt.
Okay, so to answer your question, yes, there's wood decks for this thing. I just want to show you what this is what some of the the instructions look like for the photo etch. So there's like the deck catapult for the for one of the seaplane observation planes.
Right.
I mean, and it's got sheet after sheet of stuff like here. This is just to do the stern mast.
Wow.
So I mean,
cow.
You got page after page of this stuff. It's all gorgeous. Like you were saying, like here's some details for doing the actual observation airplane and some of the ship's boats. You can see like you basically completely redo the ship's boats there, and it's like each one of those could be a little kit. But
sure it is. Yeah.
That's how. Oh, and here's the. Here it is. That's what we're talking about.
Yeah. Gorgeous. Have any of you watched the James Cameron special when they went and dove on the Bismarck and went inside it and everything?
That was so cool.
Definitely.
Yeah. They actually found the remnants of one of those airplanes still in the hangar bay in there, which I thought was amazing.
Well, what happened, like in the actual the actual vessel, they tried to launch one of the planes to send the ship's logs back to Germany, and they had a problem with the catapult. So all the planes
couldn't get their mail or anything off the ship. Yeah. I've actually watched another documentary where they dove on the hood too, and the poor hood. I mean that explosion that took place on the hood must have been catastrophic because the ship is just it's in like several pieces. The most intact piece that they could find was about I think about 40 feet of the bow, and that was it. And it just think, wow, how could that happen? But it's one of those kind of fate things. They talked about the hood, how it was supposed to it was scheduled to go in and have an updated armor on the top, I guess where she had her weakness was in the top deck, and they were used to shooting a fairly flat trajectory at each other in the earlier wars or whatever, and they weren't prepared for these shells that were going to be coming down.
Well,
And
actually the Hood was a battle cruiser, and it was designed at the end, not a battleship, a battle cruiser. So basically, what it was a vessel that had battleship armament, but a cruiser's armor.
Right.
And,
Yeah.
and
made it really fast, so she was one of the faster ships.
They knew it was fast, and so they knew. I mean, the captain of the Hood knew that his weakness was in the deck armor, and so he knew that, you know, when sharp shots are fired far away, they're going to arc down and go through that armor. So he was actually doing the exact right thing when he got hit, which was head right for the Bismarck,
turning into it. Yeah.
Try to close the range so that now the shells come more horizontally rather than, you know, arcing in from the sky.
Right.
And he just got hit, you know, too soon. But, you know, the thing is, these guys were extremely. I mean, the fact that the Allies caught the Bismarck at all was extremely lucky, in my opinion. I mean,
yeah, it was.
They now, whether or not the Bismarck could have had, I mean, the Tirpitz existed for the whole war and didn't do anything except hide out in a fjord, you know. I mean, but you know, at the time that this happened, I mean, the UK was on the verge of being cut off completely, and if this thing really had gotten out into the Atlantic uncontested, you know, that would have been it could have been a strategic problem.
Right.
So this thing, you know, the guys that, I forget the carrier that launched the
Ark Royal.
Yeah, I mean, those guys, some of those guys, you know, like, I mean, you guys don't know me, but, you know, I was in the Navy, I was in flight training, and then I had a really bad car accident and got retired. So I know a little bit about naval aviation, and some of these guys had like less time than they gave me before I had to solo the first time. They're sitting there on the Ark Royal being launched in a biplane with a torpedo under it, you know, that maybe they've never even tried to launch before, at, you know, literally, you know, at dusk, have to come back at night. I mean, basically, it's a suicide mission from their point of view. And they all went in and they did it. And
yeah, well,
you know,
James Cameron, when he talked about that during the documentary, it was interesting. He called the Bismarck the Death Star of at the time. It was the most modern, deadly, and the biggest deadly weapon in the war at that point. It was like the equivalent of the Death Star,
I mean,
and they took it out with with World War I technology. You know, but not a single one of those swordfish airplanes got shot down.
Well, that was one of the major things with the Bismarck, is that they you know, this is at a time, you got to keep in mind, where people had a lot of theories about how modern warfare would work, and not everybody was right. And you know, like
aircraft.
Well, yeah, like they at the time they thought, well, the B-17 will never have to be escorted because it's too fast. You can build a plane fast enough to even go up and shoot it down. You know, it's like,
well, the Pearl Harbor incident, of course, was one that woke everybody up about the vulnerability of battleships to air attack. But for Great Britain, it was the loss of the Prince of the Wales and Repulse to the Japanese when they sunk those two ships. And the Prince of Wales was a brand new battleship. In fact, it was the ship that was with the Hood when they engaged the Bismarck, and they were both sunk by Japanese dive bombers.
Know that ahead of time, and one of the systems that the Bismarck left, the Bismarck never had its full anti-aircraft system with gun directors and everything.
And its radar wasn't fully operational. The ship was still brand new. There were a lot of things that weren't working yet, and the crew wasn't fully trained. So, an interesting discussion. Well, guys, we're at the end of our time limit here. Does anybody have anything they want to close up with here, or any last comments or anything?
I just got a quick question for Jerry. Jerry, I don't know if you remember, I sent an email a while back about some decals for 1400 scale enterprise kit with a different name on it. I don't remember the name right now. And I know you've been real busy, so I'm going to send you an email again, and then.
Please, for everybody,
I'm sorry.
remind me if you talk to me about a project, and I've had to ask to put it off for a little bit of time because I've got stuff backlogged up.
Okay.
I will, as I said before, I'll get those done for you. But just drop me a note and let me know about it. And right now, I'm not as behind as I was a month and a half ago.
Okay.
So I can probably get those done pretty soon for you. I still have those on the list of things to do. I've got probably about 12 things backlogged at the moment.
So I'll just wait for you to like tell me when it's cool, and then I don't want to bother you.
Don't do that. No, bug me. You need to bug me.
Okay. All right.
Because I got stuff continually going on, and that way I don't forget. I'm getting old, man. I need to be reminded.
Okay. Last thing I wanted to do is be a pain in the ass to somebody, though. So that's why I said.
Not a pain at all. Not in the least.
Thanks very much, Jerry.
And Boyd, I know you don't do small models, as you just pointed out 10 minutes ago. You want to do big stuff, but I did want to point out to everyone if you're building the 1000 scale Reliant, Paul Paragraphics now has his photo etch.
Oh yeah, that's nice.
That's
not that small of a model. That's a pretty decent size. I got to see that model at Jersey Fest. That's not too bad.
It's pretty nice. I mean, they did Polar Lights round 2 did a really nice job on it, and Paul's
it's nice
photo
to have a companion for the 1000 refit. Yeah.
Yeah, and he did a nice job. It allows you to drill out the windows and everything, and take care of some of the other detailing. And I know that one of the details that Boyd that you like is those inserts for the 537 scale go around the hangar bays, the landing bays, to allow you to do the light strips. He's also got those here for the 1000 scale too.
That's nice.
I'll have to give me one of those right now.
Are by any chance are the what do you call it, the cages for the crystals on there, or?
No, the cages on the crystals aren't on here, and I think he actually said something about that in one of his posts or something. It's just too small. He does have at the back of the model on the main deck those vents that are on the left and right side, port and starboard side.
Oh yeah.
On the burners, he does have those on here. Let me see. I don't know.
Chiller grills. Are those the chiller grills?
Yeah, he's got chiller grills on here too.
Oh, that's beautiful.
So
I'd love to have that for the 350 refit, because the actual grills on the 350 are not the 350. The studio model were aluminum.
Mm-hmm.
That would be really nice, and that would sure make that hassle of painting those things a lot less difficult. If you had an overlay like that could go on there, that would be really nice.
Well, these
and
are
also
specifically for lighting. You can do the light blocking on the grills for these.
I'm going to have to talk to Paul and see if we could get him to do those for the 350 refit, and the also the cages for the crystals. He's got the cages on the 1537 Reliant kit, but we don't have the cages on the set for the big model. That would be nice to have those too. Well, thanks for sharing that too, Jerry. That's great. Everybody out there that has a 1000 Reliant.
Yeah, it just cost me more money. Thanks, Jerry.
Yeah.
You're welcome. And now if round 2 would just ship those bloody Aztec decals for the 1000 kit that they're so far behind on.
Yeah, everybody's waiting. Did Brett come out with his mask set for that yet? Does anybody know? I know he was getting close for the 1000 Reliant.
I saw a post of him showing some examples of it, yes.
Okay.
I don't know if he's got them for sale yet, but I saw a post, some pictures of him showing some test shots of it.
Okay, cool.
Uh-oh.
Okay, guys.
Doesn't sound good.
Just a bag for the LED tape.
Oh, okay.
Okay, guys. Well, I'm going to call this one a wrap. I want to thank everybody. We really appreciate you guys coming and hanging out every week. It's really helpful to the modelers out in the community when you guys give your tips and advice. We really appreciate it. And thanks so much for showing your beautiful work that you're doing. And we'll see you guys back next week again here at the same time next Saturday for our next edition of our live Hangout. So I appreciate everybody. You guys take care out there, and happy modeling, everyone.
Cheers,
Night, John
guys.
boy.
Good night, John boy.
Wherever you are.
Boy.